There's a war going on, the books can't escape from the team. Call the morning steam, it's time to break, run for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott, running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
System playing. Final.
All right, there I am, folks. I got to get past all the Halloween decorations and find the right screen here. Thanks, everybody, for joining me. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Steam Show here for Sunday, November 2nd. We got NFL football tonight. We've got some NBA. We've got NHL and more. We'll talk about it here coming up in the next hour plus, and we'll get your plays as well. I want to thank you for joining me here on the show. What a night last night. Hey, everybody, you better be well rested today, right? My favorite day of the year here. Turn back the clock days. So I think we'll have plenty of energy to get through a great show. But, well, man, what about last night? How'd it go for you? How was it last night with the Los Angeles Dodgers winning the World Series over the Toronto Blue Jays? What a great series, man. No one's going to there's a lot of things you could doubt about in sports today. We could whine about it for hours on end, but certainly worth every second with the World Series. Even the one-sided games had some drama. The way they unfolded, close games, and then they put in some big innings. But Will Smith's home run lifts the Dodgers a second straight title, becomes the first player ever to hit an extra inning home run in a deciding game. And hey, Blue Jays with their chances too. Both teams stranding runners there late as well. Man, just had everything in the World Series this year. Yamamoto, what a hero, what a star. Won Friday's game, won Saturday's game. Toronto led, remember, 4-2 after the seventh inning, but Max Muncy homered in the eighth, and Miguel Rojas, whose wife didn't even understand that he really wasn't going to play a factor maybe in the series, kept telling him he'd hit a home run. And he said, honey, I'm not even playing in the game. How am I going to hit a home run? And he gets his chance there in game 6, comes through in game 7. Then Will Smith hits the game winner in the go-ahead home run in the 8th inning. And poor Alejandro Kirk. I mean, he was terrific in the series. He hit into the double play to end the World Series on broken bat. I mean, who knows if he had a solid piece of lumber in there. Man, maybe got sawed off a little bit. Man, he could just poked it through there a little bit with a little more velocity. I mean, his bat was terrific. Great plays all around, crazy plays. The near collision, the partial collision in the outfield, just had everything that you'd want, except for those Blue Jays fans. Feel terrible for them, but they could be proud of playing in one of the most memorable World Series in your or my lives. I mean, we can only be there for so many World Series, and really lived up to the hype, lived up to the billing. You might try to bury baseball once in a while, and then it falls back in love with you and gives us something to remember. So just a good, other than the Dodgers winning, of course, we'll get to that here. Let's go to the chat and commiserate with those Dodger fans celebrating in the chat. I mean, talk about myopic, actually. Our man Jerry, he won 50,000. Overrated Blue Jays, please. These guys, if you bet every game, if you bet every time with the Blue Jays, you'd be holding money. If you bet every time with the Dodgers this season, you'd be broke. That's for sure. The Dodgers got it done. That's how you do it. And hey, when you spend that much money, you better get it done. Anything but a world championship actually is a complete failure for the Dodgers. So Blue Jay fans, yeah, they are crying because they put all their heart into it. They didn't necessarily put all the money into it like the Dodgers. So just typical myopic Jerry Jones. I mean, look at some of these comments. They're just so bad, actually, Jerry. I mean, I love you, man, but these are just so myopic. Really here with these comments because the Blue Jays, like I said, if you and even Mr. Westers, I mean, look at this, no clue. I mean, everybody was rooting against these Dodgers for sure. Hey, I had Dodger tickets too. Who am I to complain? But yeah, pretty naive there, actually. All right. I told Ramon now eat his word. I'm telling you the story here right now. I mean, these Dodgers are so, I mean, you pay all that money, you have to win the World Series or it is a complete failure. There's just no doubt about it. And the Blue Jays played, if you had, they use a thing called the point spread in sports betting. Blue Jays did cover the spread, by the way. The Dodgers were expected to win this game by the fifth or sixth game. If you look at the odds, right? I mean, the over/under in the series was 5.5. So Dodgers got outplayed in this series, according to the back of the baseball card. But no doubt, the Dodgers are the world champions and should be celebrated. They brought in the Dodger fans go down to some of the more iconic places in Los Angeles to celebrate. What do? They bring out the horses. They bring out the guys with the batons, start hitting them and beating them down and stuff. I mean, plain as day. I mean, it's the things we don't like to see from public officials, right? But that's what they do. I mean, that's what they do. So really tasteless there by the federal agents there, or whoever those people were bringing in the horses to beat up on the poor Dodger fans there, the ones that deserve a world championship anyway. All right. And Dodgers bullpen was overrated, Jerry said. I thought they were, you look about how bad they were. They were just what the Dodgers had to do. They actually used their starting pitching at the end of this game. I mean, look who pitched in the final game. The Dodgers. It wasn't start. The bullpen was atrocious. They sure did miss my man Alex Vesia. Thought it was incredible, and just goes to show you what's actually going on with Vesia. I mean, the Toronto Blue Jays even put the little 51 on their hats. They're thinking of Vesia, who didn't get to participate in the World Series. So, man, this is just a really big dive there from these guys. I love it. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to get through all their bad comments here today. Let me see if I can find some new ones here. All right, Blake's here. Good morning. Let's get it going. And how about the fights last night? We were with the guys, and everyone's talking about that Bulgarian fight today. I mean, man, was that just bizarre? The guy, I mean, has to be some type of we saw the line drop in real time there, and to go in, and then you hear the analysts who, I don't know, they were trying to be selective in their words, right? And say, hey, everyone, like this video, subscribe to our channel, Sports Money, here on YouTube, fastest growing sports betting channel on YouTube. But even the analysts after the fight saying, hey, this is not a typical approach to try to get out of these type of holds. It almost looks like he's not trying. So where's our U.S. integrity guys now? I mean, why aren't they out in force yet? Is the investigations taking behind the scenes right now, trying to figure out, what did they say at the press conference? I didn't get that far yet. Man, I feel bad. I didn't. Had an extra hour to do it, too. Cash Kane is here, and Reish is there, Mattingly. Oh, man. These guys, all right. Blake talking a little football here today. Nick's talking about the money team. You got to win it. Kansas City's got the weapons. How about Mikey Money? He had a great call there with Yamamoto coming in and, pitching in game 6, pitching in game 7. They said, hey, well, give this guy a raise. He's already the highest paid highest paid pitcher in baseball. I mean, the Dodgers know how to win, pay their stars, and hope for the best. Because, the manager, Dave Roberts, he almost cost him the World Series as bad as he managed. All right. And Tariq, thank you. Great job last night. Going to be a big day with the birthday party there. And, Mr. Western, you're right. The thing is with baseball, there's nothing, the spring, those first games, exhibition games and everything. That's what we love about baseball. And some of the other things, I don't know. Greg says the Rockets own Boston. The record showed that Boston won most of the games. Maybe they just own them like their daddy or something like that, right? And let's see, Billy Siegfried here today talking about it. And we'll see how the parade goes, huh? Sacramento Kings for Greg. He had Army yesterday. I do want to talk a little bit about the games, but man, we're already talking so much World Series here. And let's see, Duke's ready to go to the NFL now. Thanks, you guys. And hello to Keith Just Truth in there today. And Cash Gain says he's a Yankees fan, so he didn't root for the Blue Jays. A worst to first kind of story there, right? Because I think didn't they finish last in the division last year? Baltimore was a little up there, and they get all the way to the World Series, right? Blake. And then they have Mikey's in the chat, so to have him celebrating, I'm like, God, not again. Here is Mikey. Hey, I'm the most fortunate bettor. I'm the luckiest bettor in the world. But man, just last night that did seem like a bizarre. I'm talking more about the rig fight than the Acosta fight there, but that was also bizarre. You just don't see it like that. But Acosta did the fight, right? They could have, taken the weight. Remember, Mikey was saying about, he just quit. Acosta could have just said, hey, I'll come back another day. But he took it upon himself, and so it makes you wonder there. Maybe he was throwing a little bit of give me a moment there. All right. Mr. Wester's questioning it all into. I'm starting to question. I want to be the cynic always with these guys, and they always take it the wrong way because I am going to be that guy. And so for me, I'm starting to see some cracks in Dana White's, not from the excessive gambling and all that we see all the videos of him playing blackjack for those. Hey, we'd all love to do, don't get me wrong. Hey, when I've got a couple, big bet down or whatever, hey, I'm degenerate too. But you kind of wonder if he actually, and maybe I don't understand the game. Maybe it is supposed to be conducted in the fashion that he likes it conducted with the violence and the striking. When we watched UFC, back in the day, in the first 50 episodes or 50 shows, right? It wouldn't be uncommon for a guy in a gi to be sitting there with his heel just constantly kicking a guy in the kidneys for 20 minutes. But what is the true sport? So, that's why I was trying to explain to the guys that they're trying to take the BJJ guys and put them in their whole organization. Just get rid of them and have the guys who want to come in and do the violence.
Final.
And everything. So, is that really testing all forms of martial arts against one another? All right. And Yamamoto was terrific. Gooey McDougal in there. I'm still trying to figure out his avatar here. Looks like a strike zone heat map, but also looks like Hurricane Melissa. So I'm not sure. Okay, let me just cover a few. Such a big day in college football yesterday, and definitely had some great games and some winners here, but some really great games. Georgia over Florida, 24-20. We were kind of watching that one during the UFC, and Georgia drove down and outgained them by 80 yards in the game, and Georgia got that win over Florida in the cocktail party there. And SMU over Miami. That one went to overtime, 26-20. SMU kicked a game-winning field goal with 30 seconds left to force overtime. And since joining the ACC, SMU is 13-1 in the regular season in the conference. They've kind of dominated it. West Virginia beat Houston 45-35 there yesterday to kind of upset Houston a little bit. Also, Duke and Clemson, game of the day, 46-45. Duke, TD with 40 seconds left. They went for two, got the road win there, 46-45, one of the games of the day. Arizona State over Iowa State. Arizona State came with a game plan and made it work. We're keeping an eye on that one all night there last night. One of the upsets, Arkansas State upset win yesterday as well. And also, Mississippi State over Arkansas, 38-35. That was a bit of a wild one. Arkansas led by 2 touchdowns with 11 minutes left in the game. Ended up blowing that one. Game-winning TD for Mississippi State, 70 yards in the last 50 seconds. Minnesota over Michigan State, 23-20. Gophers led just 10-0 at halftime and went on for the win in overtime. Both teams had a freshman QB, I think, in that one. And was New Mexico over UNLV. I was watching that one during the fights last night, and they just couldn't get it done. New Mexico's bowl eligible for the first time in almost a decade. USC did beat Nebraska, came on to win. I don't think they got the money, 21-17. Raiola got hurt in that one. That might have hurt Nebraska. USC couldn't pass at all hardly in that game and got lucky just to win. Oklahoma over Tennessee. It felt like Oklahoma was a sharp side there, 33-27. Matar, just 159 yards, but he ran for 80 yards. Tennessee did outgain the Sooners, but Sooners got the win in Kentucky over Auburn, 10-3. Vanderbilt in Texas, another good one, ended up right there on the money as Texas got the win by 3, but Vanderbilt was able to come back and kind of get that money late. Utah did crush Cincinnati late there as well. So a big day there in college football. Cover the other sports a little later. I know we want to get to the NFL and start talking about these great games here today. So, hey, you can get more plays from me here today by going to winnable.com/Ramon. And I'll be sending out some packages today in the major sports, including NFL, NBA, NHL. Join me by supporting me here on the channel for just 40 cents a day when you subscribe for 1 month at $19.95 and use the promo code STEAM to save 20%. Got several dozen of you subscribe to these plays. It makes me feel great that you're supporting me here on the channel, because this is what I do, is come on here and want to talk sports and sports betting with you every day here on the Sports Money Network. All right. And let's see if we can catch a few more comments in the chat and get rolling on the show. So it should be good games to talk about for sure here today in the NFL. Wow. VAR is here today. And who else walking in? KG, good to have KG. How about that? And also Andrew G. Nice to see Andrew G in here. All right. Gooey says that's it for Vandy. Hopefully that's it for Vandy. All right, a lot of cynics. Everybody's upset today after the World Series. Let the Dodgers have their moment in the sun. I'll never like them, that's for sure. Okay, let's go to the NFL today. Get your plays ready in the chat, and I'll make a drawing at the end of the show if you comment in the chat, and maybe if you want to check me out for 30 days on those winnable picks. All right, the Bears are on the road taking on the Bengals here, and Joe Flacco in the lineup today. But, man, right now the Bears have shifted to a pretty big favorite here, 3, and the total 52 does feel like it will be plenty of offense in this one, doesn't it, guys, with this one? But look, the Bears have shifted kind of here to a favorite. I mean, the send-out was definitely Cincinnati, but with the Bears coming in here, pardon me, with a better record right now, 4-3 overall. Bengals just 3-5 coming in, but you know what? The Bears have done a little bit better covering these numbers here and looking pretty good. But man, to land 3 on the road here with this, look, Bears are having a pretty strong year here right now and deserve some of the accolades. The Bengals have been in trouble for a little bit here right now, just trying to maybe stay afloat for Flacco, for Burrow to come back, but it doesn't really feel like right now that the Bengals 3-5. They almost need this one. They're also missing probably their best defensive player here, obviously, today. That's got to be a little bit of a downer, and with Hendrickson out of this game for sure. So that does hurt for sure, that defense, man. But getting 3 points at home against the Bears team is certainly inconsistent here right now. Bengals are 3-5 against the spread overall. So let's see if you guys have it in the chat and what you want to do with this one, with the Bears getting points or the Bengals getting points at home. And we know they're nothing special for sure. And even when Burrow comes back, it feels like it's going to be a bit of a strain just to try to get here right now. Bears are 4-1 against the spread and straight up in their last 5 games. Bengals have lost 5 of their last 6 coming in. They've really not covered very many spreads, but are they getting enough today? A field goal here at home against the Bengals. I would guess they should have some offense here, get their weapons together and get moving a little bit. All right, I'll go to the chat here and see what you guys have. Thank you for joining me. Okay, here we go. Scrolling back here to see what we got. Bears money line for Mr. Weskers here. Just take it down. Don't worry about covering. But Greg says, I'll take the points. Andrew says, what is the best possible bet in the NFL today, huh? All right, Bengals here for Robert and Bengals money line for 9 Legacy. Tariq says take the Bengals straight up and just lay it $1. What is it? Probably $1.50 or so. Man, tell you what, this one's definitely going both ways. And Mr. West says, the Bears here, and maybe they should be favored by more, Mr. Wesker says. And there's no doubt Ben Johnson doing this is part of it right now for the Bears. I think that's why you're seeing them start to be favored. They're moving to the other side, right? They're moving to the 500 and better side. So Bengals have a pretty good matchup too, though, offensively. Johnson's got to do the defense something here, get them going a little bit there. And good morning to Terrell. And Billy says, what a team those Dodgers are. Best team money could buy. I mean, you know what? I mean, who else are they going to get? Greg says 27-25. They're right on the line for Greg. Over for Cash Kane. Chicago all day, says KG. Can't lay the points with the Bears. Yeah, we're starting to put it aside, though, here right now. It feels like, right, with the way the Bears are kind of improving here a little bit. Look, you're going up against the worst rushing defense in the league, probably, right, in the Bengals. But do you is a Moneyline your guy? I mean, Moneyline has to be your guy if you're the Bears. And is he the guy who's, they got Travis Homer. They really don't even have the right backs here. It feels like take advantage of it. I guess Moneyline, they got him, and he's definitely been in there quite a bit. But that's what you're doing here. The Bengals actually have a little bit of pass defense. That's one thing they kind of do. So I'm taking the Bengals here in this one plus 3 points, and hopefully Hendrickson is probably the biggest concern for me as far as being out here for the Bengals, but sure think that Jamar Chase should have a pretty monster game here against the Bears in this one, and that'll also free up T. Higgins. I think those two guys can have a big day, and Chase Brown going up. Yeah, Bengals run defense is bad, but the Bears aren't much better. They're probably in the bottom 5, aren't they? So I'm going to take the Bengals here. It's going to be a wild one for sure. I don't think there's any problem thinking 52 points. Whatever. I'd probably be more than that. Robert likes the over there as well. Terrell's loading up on those props. It feels like a little bit. Those props. This might be the game to go to for those over props. All right, I'm gonna try the Bengals in this one plus a field goal, and I figure it'll just be a wild game, maybe down to the wire, maybe a little backdoor. All right, 49ers on the road taking on the Giants here, and I guess the story is, more about Brock Purdy. He's only cleared to become the backup. It's not as if he's going to be starting or anything like that. Maybe we'll see him here. But Niners come in 5-3. Giants still are 2-6. And yeah, we're in the Jackson Dart era now, but all of a sudden they've lost a couple games in a row. I think the big, that blow to Scatterbo, he was really becoming kind of an impact player, and it just was a real bummer that he had his season kind of ended there for sure. So, all right, but anyway, you got the Niners coming in. Both teams are 4-4 against the spread coming into this one. These are the games the Niners usually are able to get done here. You got a low spread with them, and you can take advantage, but Giants still at home here and can pose some problems, I would think, in the matchup for San Francisco. They've been a bad cover team for quite a while right now, going 5-12 against the spread in their last 17, but the Giants are no better. They've lost 9 of their last 12 games at home and have failed to cover in 14 of their last 20 games overall. So I'm really not too enthralled with them still, despite the little bit of resurgence here. The Niners are still supposed to be that playoff contending team. The Giants still would have a long way to go. So you got to lay the points there, though. That is a little bit dicey, and the 49ers have been giving up points big time because basically their best defensive players are out for the season, and I think that's probably why they're not going to be able to get over the hump overall this season, because missing Fred Warner, missing Bosa, this is not great here. So they've been giving up these points, 26, 30, 26 points in those 3 losses. So Niners have gone under their team total also in 5 of their last 6 games coming in. And look, Giants here so far, they definitely got a couple of wins at home with Dart, and that's where they probably need him to come through a little bit right now. Got the Daboll here. They've gone over in 3 straight, have the Giants. Niners have won 3 of the last 4 in the series. 4 of the last 5 meetings have gone over between these two. But I got to take the Niners here to show maybe hope just a little bit of class on the Giants at this point. Still 2-6 straight up overall. So I'm not interested there. They did have that incredible game against Denver. I'll give you that. So let me get the chat picks in here. Thank you, guys. All right. Yes, I really did. I mean, it was hard to see that go down there, even though it's been a couple weeks now. Here's the Giants, though, for Robert. Yeah, take them here. And the Giants always make the key mistakes. They're good at that. They're good at that, making those 49ers, McCaffrey to score. And let's see.
Final.
Mac Jones. What is Andrew saying, though, here? He says, Shanahan wanted Mac Jones the year he got drafted. People are fooled to think he can't be the 49ers QB. You're right. I mean, that's why I think, look, if Mac Jones, we always say, can you lose your job when you're injured? When do you lose your job if you're injured? Can the starter always? You just weigh every situation differently. Here comes Mac Jones. Maybe he's a clone a little bit of Brock Purdy. Maybe he's actually a little better than Purdy, but Purdy got paid, and you got 2 quarterbacks here who can obviously do the job. If Jones was struggling, he'd be out right now. We'd bring in Brock Purdy here. But Jones has done well enough. Let's just keep him in there, make sure we get Brock Purdy healthy, make a decision. Look, the Niners are going to win maybe they'll lose this one in some embarrassing fashion, and then they'll say, okay, let's get Purdy back in there. Maybe Jones has a bad game. But you know what? You got two quarterbacks. You don't have 0. You got 2. So let's just go with Jones here, who continues to do a pretty good job. Maybe it's with Shanahan, you got to think, as long as you got someone capable, right? Say they brought in like a Danny Jones or something like that. He'd probably do just as good as these guys, just like you've seen when Jones gets into kind of a stable situation there with that good coach in Indianapolis. So, okay. Bill told us Arkansas sucked. All right. Jones and Pert doesn't matter who's the quarterback, Mr. Wesker says, right? Just get him in there. All right, KG. Robert liking the under here in this one. And the thing about it, I will say this about the total, right? Look, this thing was 45, and it went up to 48.5. Yeah, maybe because of the talk right here is that the Niners defense is struggling, right? And maybe that, but that went up pretty high there, kind of already on the record with the over, but man, that is a dicey 3 points in a game like this. When, what are the Giants really doing offensively that's going to show that, I mean, even if they win the game, right, what are the Giants' weapons truly look like? Enough here to, kind of make up for maybe some poor defense. And look, it's all green lights really for this, especially in the Niners with the passing game and the running game. Same with the Giants. I mean, Tracy should be able to have a pretty good game here. You think with Wandale, I don't know. I'm kind of neutral on Wandale and Darius here actually. So, all right, you guys doing a great job here, keeping me focused here. And let's see. Yeah, he's not really a downgrade from Purdy. He came with plenty of experience, right? He took his lumps there in New England. Hey, you put one of these guys back. Drake May's been awesome. Yeah, he's probably maybe a little bit better than these guys. Put these guys back on New England and Mac Jones. They'd probably be pretty okay here because New England's kind of doing it not just with May, but seems like they're getting it all together with a good coaching situation, right? KG, San Francisco, San Francisco. Let's go Giants, says Bill. Greg says San Francisco must win. It is feeling a little bit must-winny in a way for the Niners, especially, because they will be challenged defensively all season, it feels like, right? M the Great is here. And no playoffs for San Francisco, I think Bill's saying there.
Halftime.
All right. And the Blue Jays lose, says Irish King. Mac Jones is a better quarterback than Brock Purdy. Abel says Dodgers back to back. He told us. He told everybody because everybody was doubting this Dodger team. I mean, come on. I mean, these guys suck. They got lucky to win, huh? They needed a 5-1 to back-to-back to tell us. I don't know, Abel. I think that's how it shows. Abel, great Dodger fans. These Dodger fans are great, but they're a little bit not naive, that's for sure. All right, I don't know if you know that. I mean, the Dodgers have more talent than any team in the league, twofold. All right, San Francisco here for Nuke, and Niners with an easy schedule possibly. All right, thank you guys. Yeah, Terrell, there's no doubt. I mean, that's what hurt, right? Even we joked about it with Mikey and the guys, right? Even the Eagle fans are like clapping for this guy. Everybody loves this guy. Some guys are just a football player and you just respect him immediately, right? I think he was that guy. He was on poor Scatabo. He's going to make it. Chris Warren, hello. Nice to see you. And Savage. Look, Savage came in there and I thought he was pretty good, right? And who would throw the ball back in a World Series? You bring an extra ball, right? You do the old switcheroo in a World Series game. You got to be ready. You got to be ready. You got to be prepared. I think Mikey would tell you that. Have an extra ball ready. Remember when the kid got the ball and he gave the fake ball to the cute older girl? And she was all happy. And the guy's like, I got the real ball. All right. You guys are still in there on the baseball. All right. Our Tom's 49ers. Keith says San Francisco. Abel says naive. We're the world champs. What are you talking about, Ramon? All right. It was a great series, no doubt. Let's see here. Right? Keep the ball. You got to keep the good ball. Okay. Tyrone Tracy over here. Yeah, I like Tracy here, I think, on his props. Okay. Georgia concerns there with Georgia. Okay, yeah, anyways, we're back on the NFL here. I'm taking the Niners. Falcons and Patriots. We just talked Drake May at length and how he's doing with this team. You got Atlanta here. Look, they're talk about sketchy. Atlanta's a little bit sketchy for sure. Maybe a little home and away dichotomy here. Patriots on a roll. This winning streak has turned everything around in New England. About ready to put all those years aside of the mediocre, or actually crappy play from New England for the last several years, and it feels like this is the real deal. You got a coach in here. It's not like they've got some nice players for sure, no doubt about it. But it's not like they went out and got a ton of great players, right? There was questions about Drake May. It's taken a while for him to develop here a little bit, but it's all good right now. When you bring in, you got a little bit of stability within the organization. People believe a little bit as well. So now there is some injuries here. I believe Ramondre Stevenson is out, but everyone's been saying, hey, that's okay. We want Trevion Henderson in there anyways. And New England, terrific defensively here. I expect it to be very, very difficult for Bijan and even for Drake London and these guys. It's going to be hard. This is a bad matchup, I think, for the Falcons here. I think the Patriots, is it really 4.5 and not 5.5 anymore? I mean, this seems pretty good. Maybe it's 5. I'll call it 5, but I want to take the Patriots here to club the Falcons today. Come on. This is, I'm going to lay some points here. I'm going to lay practically a touchdown here with New England. One of the best covered teams going for sure. They're 4-1 against the spread as a favorite so far. Falcons just 1-2 against the spread on the road here. It's a interconference game, so but Patriots on a roll, having also covered 5 in a row. Falcons just 4-10-1 ATS long term here, dating back to last season. And these teams don't meet very often, but it's always been a disaster for Atlanta. 0-7 against the spread against the Patriots. But I don't pay attention too much to that, right, when it's a interconference game. But go ahead in the chat. I want New England here in this matchup over Atlanta and lay the points. What do you guys think? Can Atlanta hang in there? Penix is back, so that's a good sign anyway. But just feels like not a great matchup, for this Atlanta offense right now against New England. I'd be down on pretty much all these guys, except maybe Kyle Pitts. I think Kyle Pitts would be the man today if they can get something going. Here we go. Here with Mr. West. Yeah, I mean, it's Vrabel was a match made in heaven, right? And now look at the Titans. Look where they're at. I mean, even Vrabel was doing a pretty, through those times, he was really turning it around. And yeah, you know what? Kind of fell down a little bit there. That was so awesome, Abel. I talked about already. I don't know if you were in there, but I did talk about that, and that meant a lot to fans of Bessia, including me. Greg said Giants find a way to lose. Here's the Falcons. Here's a Falcons batter. Barr will take a chance on him here a little bit. And 9 Legacy 49ers are Thompson on the Falcons as well, giving these Falcons a chance. Robert's on the Patriots here. Chris behind us there a little bit, but just like the Niners. And 2 picks for Penix. He's on the road. Patriots here on the spread. And Robinson to get a rushing touchdown. Look, I mean, it's going to be hard to stop him, but I definitely am not going to be on the over with Bijan today. I'm not doing it. I think the numbers are high to begin with, and Patriots are probably at least a top 10 rushing defense. And against backs overall, if you look at the fantasy numbers, I don't look at the fantasy numbers enough because can't play fantasy in Vegas, but I do try to look at them a little bit and see how like the backs do against scoring fantasy points and stuff like that. I think it's a great indicator, but I only give it a kind of a glance, or more than a glance, I should say. Patriots smash, says AOD. Patriots have an easy schedule says AOD. Terrell's betting WTA doubles. I mean, that's how we've gotten here on Sunday morning. Robert likes the over. And they let's see here. Patriots for Tariq, but he doesn't think Bijan can have a game. I'm going the other way on Bijan. I don't have a lot of offense. I think Pitts is the only guy that I want to play over in his props here. I'm probably under on everybody else or not playing him. I probably should be on the under in this game, actually, but I think the Patriots are showing enough offense here. Nuke says he is the real deal Drake May, right? He can run, he can pass. I think that's awesome. And Drake's rush prop here. Thank you, guys. Falcons money line, says Terrell. Line is fishy. He thinks the Patriots should be favored by more in this game. Atlanta should be able to move the ball through the air. I don't know. I'm down. I'm fading London. I'm fading Mooney here, but I'm on Pitts. Atlanta has the best pass defense. So look, I think
Final.
with Diggs and Booty, but Booty's looking good. I'm not going to play Diggs and Booty over, but I'm not going to play him under either.
Final.
I think they might be the difference that they'll need in the game. Falcons money line. I probably should have took the under, but I'm on the over. But I'm on the Patriots here. Thanks, you guys. Great comments in the chat on this one. Here's a bunch of props from Jermaine. He says Drake under, Bijan under. Yeah, I'm on the fade train of London. Remember, he was out last week, or he was out in the Miami game, I guess 2 weeks ago. Was it last week? Yeah, he had the hip injury. So, but he's been ready to go here as of yesterday. Ready to go. Pats haven't been good with the run, says Twisted. All right, they're good. I think the Patriots have a good run defense, if that's what we mean. Okay, let's keep it moving here right now. Man, these are great games. Colts and the Steelers here. Plenty of intrigue with the Colts favored on the road by 3.5 against Pittsburgh. And the total here, 51.5. Where's Pittsburgh going to get this type of offense? Let's get into it and see. Pittsburgh's here obviously lost a couple in a row now. The Colts have won 4 straight. And looking good. Colts best terrific at covering the numbers. 6-2, 4-1 against the spread as a favorite. Pittsburgh just 1-2 ATS at home so far here. And let's see what you guys have with this matchup. We'll take a look at some of the numbers here anyway. Colts have been, like I said, a good proposition here, but still 3-6 against the spread last night against Pittsburgh in a semi-occasional matchup. But Pittsburgh still lost and failed 8 of their last 12 on the field dating back to last season. 5 straight meetings between these two teams have gone over. Colts, though, looking strong here. They're averaging 30 points or better in their all 7 of their wins so far this season. Everyone talking about that team total going over every time, right? 7-1 of the Colts taking that team total over right now. And they've been extremely fortunate, +8 in the turnover department. Steelers gave up 35 and 33 points in their last 2 games in those losses here. They're still 13-5. Last 18 as an underdog at home when they're getting these points. Colts beat the Steelers last year 30-13. They beat them the year before that 27-24. So even when the Colts weren't that team, it feels like they've been that team for the most part. But the home team hasn't won and covered the last 5 in this series. And the Colts are 0-4 straight up and against the spread last 4 visits into Pittsburgh. Those wins did come at home. So will it be just enough? Because the Colts, if you want to have maybe just a little bit of skepticism on them a little bit here as going into a natural turf field, if you know what I mean. They're kind of a fast track team, I think, a little bit, aren't they? Even with Taylor. Now, Taylor's the man to beat, the man to stop, right? That's who you've got to stop. Of course, I mean, this guy's the offensive player of the year so far in Jonathan Taylor. How do you think the Steelers will do against him? I'm kind of neutral on him, but I'm sure he'll be able to get his yards. Pittsburgh, I think the toughest part for them will be trying to establish any kind of run game with Warren and Gainwell here. I think it actually is kind of the difference in the game is probably the Steelers, if they can't get any run game going. I think that's where the Colts will have a good spot. I'm on Josh Downs here a little bit. I mean, Pittman, his numbers just came a little bit high, so kind of want to play Downs in this one. And also Ty Warren does feel like one of the best tight end propositions here today, although Pittsburgh with that trio of Freiermuth, Jonnu Smith, and Washington, I know they were a disappointment, it felt like, in that last game, but I kind of like their matchup here. And I like Aaron Rodgers and DK here too. I mean, we could see some big-time points, it feels like, here in this one as well. But I've got the Colts right now to keep it going here. I think the Colts are got something going here a little bit with this coach, with this team. Pittsburgh is not the same at getting to the quarterback or putting much pressure on. So I might take Josh Downs here as my prop play. I just think the numbers on Pittman came a little bit high, and I don't know what his production will be like, especially if the Steelers fall behind and Jonathan Taylor is able to get running here. Let's hear what you guys have to say in the chat in this one. And here we go. Hope I didn't miss you guys on that last game. Falcons Pats under for Reish. New England, maybe they could go to the bowl here in this AFC, but I don't know. We're going to see a big game later on today with two of the Billy. I think I like the ball delivery. I know it's easy on a lefty. They always look so good, but I think I like the ball delivery a little bit with Penix. I think they have trouble protecting him, actually. I'd like to see a little bit more with him behind a more solid offensive line a little bit. Diggs to get a touchdown. Bars on the under here. Could it be some Diggs there? Talking about that other game, but and Chris not liking that one. Mr. Westwood says this is a joke right now, what's going on here in Pittsburgh. Whenever you bring in Rodgers, you're going to have a little bit of a circus. And that's Pittsburgh's not a team where you need a circus. But I did say that I think the one situation that Rodgers could fit in right now, given his status in this league, would probably be Pittsburgh. And I don't mind his matchup today. I actually think they might be able to keep pace a little bit here. They just might not have enough in the end. I'm going to take the Colts here with Sancho. Robert does like the under, though. Greg says Pittsburgh, sprinkle it, Colts under for our tops. Colts are playing the do game, says Greg. Steelers, especially with the hook. Chris likes them with the hook. And hasn't bet it, though, yet. Could it be Tomlin? Nah, I don't know. It's going to take more than this right now. I mean, there's still Pittsburgh still at 4-3 here. No problem in this division. It feels like you're still alive, right? Pittsburgh. Everybody wants to make Baltimore the champs already. They got to come like Zenyatta from the back of the pack, though. Even the Steelers and these other teams got a little bit of cushion on them there. The 28-25. This is a over here, it looks like, for Greg. Tyler Warren over. This is a prop that I'm definitely behind right here. M the Great. This is probably my favorite play on this game right here for sure. Tyler Warren. Any kind of overs on Warren, I'm fine with. Colts team total over here. And let's see. These are the ones Terrell says. You know what? I don't doubt that here, Terrell. These are sometimes the ones But you know what? I don't know. Maybe we trust. Maybe do you trust him more in prime time or like the old Sunday at 1:00 game? Here's Jones and Rodgers over there a little bit, and Daniel Jones just need to get in a good situation here. Definitely liking Jones's matchup today. I think they should throw more actually than run it with Taylor. Don't wear him out, man. You got something you need here. We know Taylor's great. It's not like he just came onto the scene. He's like, if it wasn't for Derrick Henry, we'd talk about Taylor all day long, and we still talk about him. All right. Yeah, let's see here. Billy talking about Rodgers here, and he's a little trippy with all of his idiosyncrasies and conspiracy theories. And but you know what? He's hanging on as a veteran, still trying to find the mix, trying to get back to the bowl somehow. All right, thanks you guys here. So we got any more Taylor anytime touchdown? Rodgers with an INT. Rodgers. He wants money. He doesn't care about winning, right? All right. Danny, not you prefer Danny as a dog than a favorite. It's just that the Colts kind of moved to the upper echelon of the teams of the AFC. Not up there with the Bills or the Chiefs, I guess, but they are looking pretty good right now. And like I said, there's no doubt that Offensive Player of the Year, Jonathan Taylor, not to be confused with the MVP if you think it's going to be Mahomes or whatever. Different award. Little soccer parlay in there. All right. Danny Dines might throw a pick here. Okay, I think I'm caught up to the comments. Hello to Cam Sinnett. Nice to see Cam in there. I'm taking the Colts. I'm still taking the Colts. All right, let's go big spreads now with the Panthers and the Packers. 12 and a half, 13, but are these the spots where the Packers can drub somebody? Carolina, showed signs of life. Then you had to bring in the Red Rifle, and that was a disaster. But now you got Bryce Young back. We're not saying that Bryce Young is the man to lead your team to the playoffs. But remember, Carolina was on a 3-game winning streak with him. He misses the game. They were actually playing probably as well as they have in a couple of years during that winning streak. I don't think there's any question of that. How soon we forget. You go in there and get beat up by Buffalo. Yeah, they beat Miami. They beat Dallas. They beat the Jets. But they did get to 4-4, and they're 5-3 against the spread here against the Packers team that, I don't know, laying a big spread like this and everything else that they need to worry about. If you're the Packers here, just get out with a win, get this win. Panthers here, like I said, that was about as good as they've looked there. And then you throw out the Red Rifle out there, and it was going to be no go from the get go. Even I thought, oh, you know what, he can handle this. No, it is a terrible matchup for Carolina for sure. They'll be able. Dowdle, Chuba, this is going to be rough for the Panthers here, quite actually, and also for Bryce Young and his set of receivers, other than Tedero McMillan, who can catch balls against any defense. It feels like to me, but too bad the Panthers don't have anything in the tight end game because the Packers are pretty rugged against tight ends. But between Tommy Tremble and Jatavion Sanders, I just don't know if they have enough to exploit it. I'd prefer Kraft today. Kraft's probably got a pretty good matchup. I think Josh Jacobs can have a big game, and I think Jordan Love is set to have a pretty decent game as well here. So kind of want to grab the Panthers, but I'm just thinking they're going to get shut down in the run game. It's going to end up backfiring here, and the Packers might be able to actually coast to a victory. So even though the Panthers have been playing well and I kind of want to take them, I don't know if I can. I just think it's not a great matchup for them, and I'm going to go ahead and lay it here with the Packers today to get a 2-touchdown or more victory today against the Panthers. If the Panthers get the back door, so be it, and they might, because I think having Young does make a bit of a difference here, but not sure I like the matchup here for the Panthers today. I'm trying to be positive with the Panthers, actually, but all right, Robert, Steelers should cover. Twisted says Young is garbage. He's another guy that could use some protection there, it feels like, and maybe a Red Rifle. Don't put him in there, Andrew, right? Steelers to cover. Carolina's improving. I do agree with that. I just think the Packers right now putting the pressure on the quarterback here, it's going to be a problem. It feels like it's going to be a problem today. Packers first quarter for Sancho. I want to tell you that the Panthers can hang in this game because you know what? 2 touchdowns, 31-14. I'm probably down with that right there. I'm not sure the Panthers, if they get 2 touchdowns, they might cover actually. Robert here on the under. Packers money line for far. He'll just put a bunch of big money. You got to use every weapon, right? Chris not betting the Panthers. Packers keep playing these close games, right? And what's going on with that? They can stop the run. I think I'd be tempted to fade those numbers on Dowdle. Everyone loves him, and hey, I don't mind him either. But I don't know about today with Dowdle. I think the numbers are high for Dowdle. Actually, that's what it is. Spread's too low. Packers blow them out. Don't do it. Panthers will give it up today. Don't do it. Panthers will give it up today. What are we doing? All right. Thanks, you guys. Oh, we got a few more. I'm sorry. Good job, you guys. Lots more. Jacobs, anytime touchdown. Panthers will cover. It says 9 legacy. Mike says take those points. Take those points. If the Giants had any defense, they'd be in first place. All right. Yeah, Twisted, you're right. I do prefer my quarterbacks tall. I don't know how else to put it. I'm sure it does hurt some of those guys, right? I mean, think of the quarterbacks. All right, under 44. We got to keep it going. I was going to start to compare Tall and short quarterbacks. All right, plenty of intrigue here. Vikings and Lions division game. Lions favored here by nearly double digits. It's actually gone down a little bit to 8.5. I'm also seeing some 9s though out there, but actually I guess it's kind of gone up from the openers, but it did touch 9.5 too. So maybe it's right where it should be. J.J. McCarthy returns, but what has J.J. McCarthy really done for us? He does look the part. It looks like he will be able to be a serviceable quarterback in the league, I think. I mean, they obviously have a lot of faith in him here to start him here when you got a good Vikings team coming into the season, right? That, they're still definitely a playoff contender, even borderline could compete. They've been right up there in the last few years. Just a little bit of a rugged situation here with the injury right now. And when you come in here, a little bit behind at this point at 3-4, and you're chasing your rival Detroit Lions here, who are, I don't want to say coasting here just yet, but knocking down teams and knocking down spreads, because that's what this coach does, it feels like. So he covers spreads left and right. They're 4-0 as a favorite at home. Vikings are 1-2 against the spread as a dog so far. This has been a series where, quite frankly, the Vikings have owned the Lions have owned the Vikings. Minnesota's lost 9 straight games right now to Detroit. Coming in here, 6 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams have gone over, and JJ is supposed to provide the spark, but he's coming off of injury, and he really wasn't doing anything overwhelming. He was doing a serviceable job, right? And they won some games with him, and you had some promise and some hope. It felt like coming in with McCarthy, and then once he went down, it was bad news. Now, fortunately, I think for McCarthy, look, the Lions really don't put a lot of pressure on quarterbacks. I think the offense can excel here for the Vikings in this game with McCarthy. And I think JJ's props are too high, but I probably would look to Addison. I think his props are reasonable enough there to want to consider them here today. Meanwhile, it should be all systems go for the Detroit running game with Gibbs and Montgomery, with Montgomery Gibbs. And Amon-Ra St. Brown should have a pretty decent day. Although I'll give the Vikings credit. They do harass the quarterback just enough, it feels like. But with these receivers, with St. Brown, with Williams, even if Khalif Raymond gets involved, I think that could be enough offense here, because Minnesota's going to have a rugged time on the ground game. I don't think they're going to be able to get anything done on the ground against this Lions run defense with Mason, with Jones. I don't like their options at all today. I think they'll get stuffed, and that could be costly here. I think the Lions can actually win this game by double digits, and I'm going to take them here against the Vikings. And I'm kind of okay with McCarthy. I mean, unfortunately, they're in a situation where I think they're still having to develop him. Certainly, he was in this organization for a year, and I think that did help him. We always say, hey, make the quarterback sit. Well, maybe they needed to get him in there a little earlier, but he did sit, and he sat again here watching. I'm fine with McCarthy. I think he actually could put up some numbers in this game, and then maybe they get blown out or don't cover anyway in a high-scoring game. And we're still like, wow, look, McCarthy is still kind of that guy. He will be a good quarterback. It's just that the Lions may just end up pasting and punishing them, is what it feels like to me. That's how you have this game here, and I can't talk, but that's okay. Minnesota's failed to cover in 6 of their last 9 overall, dating back here to a couple games last season as well. Let's get to the comments from you guys. Man, this is great. I don't even know if I should talk. You guys do such a great job in the chat. I'd go all the way back here to get these. All right. Is JJ back? Sancho likes the over. LALB likes it over. Or is it LA55? I know it's Las Vegas. I'm teasing. Okay, Chris Warren says the Lions, right? And Mr. Wesker says all the McCarthy hate. I'm talking up McCarthy. I love McCarthy. I think he's great. I don't think this is a great matchup. Or no, I think it is a great matchup for his passing. I think it is a good matchup. I think we'll see. I'm saying McCarthy at the end of this game will be saying, hey, nice job. but not enough for the Lions here. Gibbs, ATD. JJ needs time. Goff here. Everybody, Goff over on his passing touchdowns. Williams' longest reception. Robert likes the under, but Twisted likes the over. And our Tom says take them over. And yeah, everybody's hurt on defense, Billy. That's what I think the Niners situation is here right now. And unfortunately, those are long-term injuries. It's going to spell the demise of the Niners' long-term chances. Detroit covers, says Barr. Lions for Nuke. And the Nine Legacy. And we all want Shador in there. I mean, what is the problem, right? We want Shador. We want to see him in there. What's wrong here? Let's go. All right, Vikings for the upset today for Nine Legacy. Then we'll really be talking up JJ. They need, Billy says, they need bullpen help for sure. But they don't, they got all that other talent. You can overcome it by not having a bullpen. The Lions here for Chris Warren. Okay, let's see here. Justin Jefferson over Justin Jefferson here today. I'm actually neutral on him. I thought the numbers came a little high, but it's not. They're not going to shut him down. They can't. McCarthy, they're going to have plenty of targets for him. No, I don't know about that, Chris. He won. That's what I like. All right, a lot of anti-J, and look, he really hasn't shown it. There's no doubt. All right, Robert here says Vikings under. Vikings team total under. All right.
Final.
All right, I think that's it for the picks anyway. Let's keep it going. Broncos and Texans here. Look, to me, this looks like one of those games where you're like, okay, if the spread's 2.5 on the Texans, and we're taking the Texans. Now, that's too easy if you're Ramon Scott. You don't want to say that like that. But when you have a situation where the Broncos obviously were a little bit of a favorite here to open, right? And now they're an underdog, and you're getting the offense a little bit back together here. We know the Texans do play a little bit of defense. The Broncos are certainly inconsistent on offense. Look, there's no doubt the defense is elite. They're 6-2. They're on a massive heater here right now. But but the Texans, if you like the Broncos, this is a great spot for you to put a little extra on them. But I think the Texans, I think they're I don't want to use the favored for a reason card. This is going to be a defensive slugfest for sure. I would think. Forget Marks, forget Chubb. It's going to be hard for the Texans to run. It's going to be hard for them to pass. But it's going to be I think an ugly game. Well, I don't know. It'll be 36-33 like the Broncos and Giants game, 33-32. You know what I mean? But maybe, just maybe, this is a spot where I'm actually going to take Houston and lay 2.5 points because I'm skeptical. Houston is 3-1 as a favorite against the spread. Denver's still 1-2 against the spread on the road here. Maybe because they're a slight dog. Maybe that is the reason actually to get on Denver in this game. It looks. Is it too easy on Denver? They're still 4-8 against the spread in their last 12 games, dating back to last year. 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two have gone under. Houston's gone under in 5 of their last 6 at home, dating back to last year. They're 0-3 at home to the under already so far this season. I mean, this thing's going to be – it actually, they're giving you 2 points here. It was 39.5, and now it's 41. I mean, even 41.5. Maybe it'll go over, but Denver's gone under a bunch as well. 7 of their last 10 dating back to last year. 0-2 this year as an underdog to the under. So, but I'll take the side here. I'm going to take Houston to win and cover against Denver today. See if you have it that way. I feel like Denver will be the public side here, but other than their situation's not exactly great either for offense. I mean, Houston pressures quarterbacks. Bo Nix is going to be under duress here, I think. If the running game can get going with Dobbins and Harvey, is that who you really want to trust? I'm not taking them over. I'm not taking them under either. I think I'm neutral on the Broncos running game. They actually, if the Broncos are able to get a decent effort out of the running game, they will win this game. That they are the key to me the Broncos running game here. And it looks like seeing a goal here by Alabs. But I'm down on Cortland Sutton today. I'm down on Franklin. These are the top, Cortland Sutton and Troy Franklin. I mean, Franklin did have a nice game against Dallas. I'll give you that, but that's the extent of it. And when you get down to Evan Ingram against this defense, it's going to be hard for Denver to score points. It's going to be even harder probably for Houston. I don't see anybody. I'm fading Houston all the way on the props, and I'm still taking them. I don't see any spots here, even with Nico Collins back. Hopefully, Nico and Stroud can hook up. I don't know who to trust in this game offensively on any player in this game. Like I said, if anything, I've looked to the Broncos running backs to give a decent situation here against Houston. Obviously, I'm on the under here. All right, here we go. I'll take the side, though, with Houston. Here's Broncos money line for Sancho. Chris likes the under. Broncos for LALV. Bar says go over. Broncos doesn't have, who the man. Bonito is the man for me, though. I think Bonito is the best player on the defense, although they've got a lot of great defensive players. Texans for Tariq. And Mr. Wesker says, Bo Nick's kind of a lucky quarterback. Well, sometimes, you know what? I don't mind having a little lucky quarterback. Denver looked good. Texans do have a strong defense. I think that's what we're banking on here, especially against those, should shut the receiving cores down. Nick's over on his rushing yards. We have to take off. Nine Legacy says take Denver, Texans, and under here for Andrew. Robert is on Denver. And Mr. Weskers have said it every time, Denver to win this division. Feels like Kansas City, though, now is starting to get a hold of the situation, right? Stroud over in his rushing yards. And Nine Legacy says, with some injuries there, he's taking the Texans there a little bit. Hello to Wine Time in the chat. Nice to see you, Wine Time. And Bonito is pretty good. And, Mr. Westwood says Nix is a clutch quarterback. That's what he is. Yeah, this is going to be a tough game, though, for him here, I think. All right, I'll give you the Texans here. I'll go ahead and lay 2.5 points. Let me get to my Chargers now.
Final.
Oh, Keith just true. Texans over. Team total over. All right. The Chargers all of a sudden are 10-point favorites on the road, and despite the fact that they haven't looked very good here for a few weeks, it feels like right now. And Chargers coming here now a 9.5-point favorite here on the road against Tennessee. Okay, I'll give it to you. They won last week. I was satisfied in the win there against Minnesota. I mean, they crushed them and made me sing the song and everything. But Minnesota wasn't looking too good there. But Tennessee's been rather troublesome here right now. Just 2-6 ATS, 0-3 against the spread at home. But Chargers aren't really covering a lot of numbers either here to be maybe worthy of a double-digit favorite here. Look, they can run all over Tennessee. I'll give you that. But Vidal, he's shown signs here. I was kind of down on him, but he's had 2 decent games here in the last couple of weeks. 2 of the last 3 weeks, as the running back here for the Chargers, and he should have a good matchup here today. Now, McConkey, they're starting to rate him a little too high. Herbert can get harassed here a little bit, I think, by the Texans, but I think I'd probably go all the way down to Quentin Johnston here. I'm going to look to not play McConkey, not play Allen, and I'm going to look to Johnston as probably my favorite player. Vidal and Johnston for the Chargers, that's going to be enough to cover a 10-point spread. Now, the Chargers have kind of gotten it back together again on defense a little bit, and I think they'll have time to get to Cam Ward. This wide receiver, Alike Minor, he's kind of been pretty bad so far, but he does have an okay matchup here. It's just a matter of because I think they have an emerging receiver in Chimere DK, who's had 2 big games in a row and is now the primary passing guy here. But the Chargers might shift their focus to him, and that might be to make Minor kind of the guy you want to look at here. Titans on the run game with Pollard. I don't like it against the Chargers. Pollard and Spears.
Final.
I think the Chargers can kind of shut that down a little bit, but the Chargers will be good enough. Man, 10 points. I know Cam Ward's probably going to have a pretty awful game, I'm sure, but these receivers are okay if you could just get it to them, man. Let's see what you got here in the Charger game with me. We're going long here today, but hey, you know what? We had the time change last night. Okay, let's see if anything on the Chargers here. Less comments on them. Okay, Tennessee, maybe it's a coaching situation. They've gotten away from their, the previous coaches of Tennessee. They kind of go on to, here's Chargers first quarter spread. Gary under in the game. Chargers first half for Weskers. And Robert liking the over. Herbert and his past TDs over. Chargers to rock here, says Nine Legacy. And Greg Gibson says Chargers get it. Chargers just missed the card as a 10-point favorite. Art Toms likes it under. Tease the Chargers. Andrew's ready for college basketball. Chris might be on the Chargers. And there's Gravy in the chat. All right. Chargers and a teaser. All right, I'll just take the Titans here. I'm a Chargers fan, and I hope that if they win by more than 10 here, that'd be pretty good here right now. But I'm going to take Tennessee here. Chargers have had a good success against the Titans, 10-3-2 against the spread last 15, but the Chargers are 1-4 ATS in their last 5. That's okay. Tennessee doesn't cover anything either. Pretty bad here, losing to Indy by 24, losing the Patriots by 17. They lost to Vegas, by 10 points, but that was at Vegas. All right. Next up, we're getting through. That was the early games. Here we go with the afternoon games. There's 3 of them. Oh, God. The Jaguars are here in Las Vegas taking on the Raiders. In this one, the Jags are favored by 2.5. That's a little bit of a discount, I think. It was 3.5. Raiders here get Brock Bowers back in the lineup here. Max is going to play for the Raiders as well. Gino, I don't know. They brought in Tyler Lockett. I don't know if he's even going to be active here. I want to take a look at it, but they just brought him in for some comfortability here. He's probably might not even play at this point. But Lockett was brought in here, kind of give Gino maybe a little bit more. But what are you worried about bringing in? You got Trey Tucker, man. This guy's the man, and I think he's probably the best option here in this game. Actually, I'd probably look to play Trey Tucker in his props here. Also, for Jacksonville here and Lawrence and his crew. Look, Brian Thomas Jr. could have an okay game here. I think the Raiders could have some defense here when you talk about Max being ready to go here. Look, it's been bad. Can't make anything up for the Raiders here and tell you that anything's changed with them. They're still not very good. Jacksonville, are they overrated? Now they've lost 2 in a row after that great start, just like they always have been doing a little bit when they've had a few starts here over the last couple of years. You get a little bit of a start, and you're like, oh, look at Jacksonville, and then, you know what? I don't know. But they are 2-0 against the spread as a favorite here. The Raiders are still 2-5 ATS, 1-4 ATS as a dog here. Jacksonville, certainly showing enough life. The Raiders are probably still one of the worst teams, but Brock Bowers could have a decent game here. I'm actually taking the Raiders in this one, plus the points with Bowers back. Maybe it. I don't know, full strength, I would say here. I mean, they say healthy and ready to go here with his knee problems. All of a sudden, it just gets better here. So he can be dominant, and I'm going to take the Raiders. I'm going to take Bowers to have a big game. Tucker and Bowers are going to be the keys for me here in this game, and I think that's what's going to allow them to get it done. Okay, we got to hurry here because we've just got a half an hour to go before our NFL show here at the top of the hour with Mike and Sharky. Going to be a great game. But I'll tell you this, Sharky last week had some great picks. He was opposite me on a lot of games and took me to town last week, so I better watch the show here coming up. All right, Saints and Rams here with the Rams, the 2 touchdown favorites. Hey, if you thought that uh, uh, Spencer Rattler was good, wait till you see Tyler Shuck come in here. But why not bring in Shuck here to take over for Rattler? What are these guys doing? First of all, total disaster here. And fortunately for them, the Rams aren't exactly the best covered team around. Although this season they've been a great favorite, unbelievably enough. 5-1 here against the spread as a favorite, but you got to lay 2 touchdowns against the Rams Saints team that's 1-6 against the spread as a dog. How high can you go here? Even I want to take the Rams and lay 2 touchdowns in this one. They're not going to be able to run the ball at all. Kamara's expected to play, but he's got an ankle turn. These guys aren't going to be very effective. They'll probably have a under 50 yards rushing, I would imagine, in this game. Rashid Shaheed is probably going to play, but he's had a hip injury so far. Olave, it's a tough matchup for him as well. At least for Johnson here, I think he's probably the best option for New Orleans here. I like Juwan Johnson actually against the Rams in this game. You know, the Rams props, they're all way too high for me to get interested. I'm sure the Rams will have a fine game offensively with Stafford, Nakua back to a good strength here, Devontae as well. But I wouldn't look down very far past that, and maybe Kyron Williams. But all the numbers look a little too high on playing the props for me right now, and I'm not going to be taking them. I think the only guy I really like is Juwan Johnson here from the Saints, and I still think the Rams are going to win and cover this game. So I just thought the numbers on the props came too high because of the expectations of the Rams to crush. They are 7-0 against the spread against the Saints in the last 7 times they played them at home. And, you know, they play relatively frequently as conference opponents. Rams are 4-1, ATS at home as well, 12-3 ATS last 15 overall. And the Saints have failed to cover here in 4 of their last 5 against the Rams. Overall, one of them was a cover at home, but the Saints are 2-6 ATS so far this season. So I will take the Rams to rout them here. I think you're making the wrong call with Tyler Shuck. Got to go to him eventually if Rattler's not your man, but what could they have really learned early on? Why weren't you doing this earlier if Tyler Shuck was your man? Because Rattler, yeah, there were some things, you know, there's definitely nothing to like there about Rattler, but I don't know. Shuck may be able to take off running. That would be my. That's what I would do. Take off running, and throw it to Juwan Johnson. Get some comments here on this one, but it does feel like, oh man. Okay, here we go. Nuke likes the Chargers to do Survivor here. Let's see, Raiders money line here. Raiders for the upset. I'm a little behind. Did I miss going through the comments on the Raider game? I feel embarrassed if I did. Jags money line back there. No Hunter. That's also a big factor, right, in that Jaguars game. I feel bad. Did I go right to the game here? Under for Robert. These are the Jags and the Raiders picks, guys. I'm sorry about that. I want to get to the Chargers so bad. And VAR's on the under in the Jaguars game. Go back to Oakland, says Jim. Right? I mean, you moved to Vegas. You got that neat stadium, and you're. Although we will say here in Las Vegas, we'll acknowledge the passing of Al Davis's wife, Carol. The matriarch of the Raiders did pass away last week. It's been about a little over a week, but this will be the first home game, I believe. Carol Davis passed away. Al Davis's widow. Raiders, I don't know. I'm not betting this game. Mr. Westers do not like those Saints. Tariq says Rams and Chargers in a teaser. Rams, lay it here. I'm into the Rams picks now. That's a cover right there. And Robert's on the under in this one too. Rams on the spread. And Tyler Shuck, it's a downgrade, but maybe he won't turn it over. Rams to smash. Rams easy. NYC bar Rams. Rams to blow out. Cash Cane Saints on the spread. Saints couldn't beat Auburn. Saints will be 4-7 in 2 weeks, says Mike. You just watch. They're going to go 2-1 here. Mr. Let's see, Greg. here. Robert on the under. I can't go slow right now, Greg. We got to get this. Go slow, read the comment, but we got to get through because we got to get to the next show. Chiefs and Bills. Well, we got to spend a minute or two on this one for sure, right? Game of the day. Here for sure. Chiefs have actually ended up a favorite here, probably because the Bills, if you look at their last few games, I mean, you could poke some holes, I guess, into the Bills here right now, given the lost 2 in the last 3 games and didn't look very good against the Falcons. Obviously, lost that game on the road and then lost at home to New England, kind of a big game, right? Where that's why New England now is certainly live here against the Bills for the division title for the rest of the season. But Chiefs come in here on a pretty good roll with wins over Detroit, Las Vegas, and Washington, covering all the games and covering some spreads here. Although I will say Buffalo is 1-0 as an underdog so far this season, but just 1-3 at home against the spread. But no, I want to take the Bills here at home with regular season Mahomes here on the road. Hey, maybe in the playoffs I might think differently. It's actually going to be a tough matchup here for Mahomes, although Worthy and Brown are going to be okay targets, but everything else I'd look to fade, even though great tight ends so far. I think the man here today is going to be Khalil Shakir. I think his numbers are a little bit depressed as far as the props are concerned. He's coming off of a pretty good game with 6 receptions and a touchdown last time out against Carolina, and I think that'd be the man that I would play in this game. Probably the only man I'd play in this game on the props to the over, Khalil Shakir, and I think he may be the guy to win this game, although also James Cook here, probably in for a solid game, but I don't know if I'd take him over. I did put him in the parlay with the guys, a touchdown parlay today, and I'm sure he can get to the end zone. But this is a tough matchup actually against Kansas City, and several areas, including the other wide receivers here. Shakir has a good matchup, but from there, I don't know if I trust any of the other Bills receivers here, actually. And maybe this one will be a shootout, but I'm probably having some over regret here, actually, in this game. I'll take the Bills, though, plus the points in this one. I like the Bills today to win over the Chiefs. Here we go with Art Thompson liking the Bills there, plus a couple of points. Greg says it'll just be right on that. I think he likes it over. Robert likes the under here, and I'm kind of I'm on the record with the over, and I think I'm having some regret here. Over, says Tariq, though. Chris likes the Bills. Mike likes the Bills. A lot of Bills here. 9 legacy on the Chiefs. There's some NYC bar on the Bills. Too many stars on the Chiefs. When you got Rice, you got Worthy, you got Hunt, right? You got Kelsey. Trap God liking Buffalo here. And Mr. Western says, I think the Chiefs can beat out Denver for the division. Right? I'm going against the Chiefs here. That makes it difficult. But I'm also going against Denver, I guess. LALB says KC. Buffalo couldn't even beat Atlanta. They're one of the worst teams in the league, says Greg. I'm going to take Buffalo here to beat the Chiefs today at home. Maybe regular season might take the Chiefs, but look, been a good run for the Chiefs. Buffalo, I'm not saying they need it. Both teams, they have the better record than the Chiefs coming in. But I'm a little concerned Chiefs on the road so far. I don't know if the games have been that great so far on the road. I think they're actually they've lost 2 road games, have the Chiefs so far already this season. So I'll take Buffalo in this one. Let me see. I want to look at a little bit of this. Over in 5 of the last 7 meetings. Chiefs have won 4 of the last 5 trips to Buffalo. And we know the Chiefs, of course, knocked them out of the playoffs in 4 of the last 5 years. So that's what we remember about the Chiefs and Buffalo. All right, last game here tonight, and we're going to have to whip through these plays in basketball and hockey. Hope that's okay, but we got to get you at the top of the hour with a great new show with Mikey Money and Sharky Waters, the NFL preview show coming up next. Seahawks -3 over maybe I should have skipped the football here. Seahawks over the Commanders here by 3, total 48.5 in this one. And, hey, you got Jaden Daniels back. We'll see how it works out, but everyone's really pretty stoked about this Seattle team and this run game here right now, and the fact that what can you say? The passing game's looking pretty sharp too. The defense, especially. I think everyone loves the defense here. And look, for Washington, these games are starting to become important. They're 3-5 right now and chasing uphill. Remember, Jaden Daniels has missed so far 3 games so far this season, so that's hurt them. They don't really. Mariota's really not the man here now. Washington, tough matchup in the run game for sure against Seattle. I mean, I've got them as a top 10 run defense. I know everyone has them probably top 5. Seattle's run game though could be strong here. I'm kind of in on Walker here a little bit for sure, but problem with Walker is they give Charbonnet a lot of carries too, and I don't know if the props, in my opinion, kind of reflect the share of backs. I think they've kind of ramped up Walker because he's looked so good, maybe forgetting that Charbonnet, he does get some action for sure. It's almost like, not nearly a platoon, but close. And I think that does kind of hurt Walker to get his numbers. I certainly like the running game of the Seahawks here, but Commanders do cover receivers pretty well. So JSN, and then behind that, you got Tony Horton, get those guys confused. But I think it's actually a tough matchup here. And, Barner is in a good spot for Seattle. It's just, do you trust Barner? Has he done enough for you here, really? He was a no-show last game, but he should be in line for a good game here. It's just that will Darnold, realize to use him here, especially if the run game's clicking. Now, Deebo Samuel's going to have a strong game here, I would think, for Washington. I think this one is close, and I want to take the points at home here with Washington. I'll take a home dog on Sunday night with Daniels back in there. Seattle's done a pretty nice job. I'm not going to fault them right now. 5-3 coming in, but like I said, 5-2 so far. Don't get it wrong there. 5-2, 1-2 straight. Washington's lost 3 in a row, so a lot of people kind of jumping a little bit of ship on them for sure. But they have played Chicago, Dallas, and the Chiefs. Not easy, not hard, but certainly the Chiefs are, and Dallas got that offense. They gave up 44 points, remember, in that game. So, all right, there. Oh, let me. I'll take the Commanders there in that one. All right. Get a few comments from you, then I'm going to whip through a few plays here in hockey and basketball. We're just going to go over the plays, guys. Don't have time to really break them down here with the next show coming up. Maybe I got to get on the air a little earlier, like it says on the start time, huh? The Ertz anytime touchdown, definitely can get behind a little bit of this today, Apache. I think that'd be the guy you want to go to, other than Deebo. Greg said 27-24 in the game here. McCaffrey, long reception. Billy was on Kansas City there. Hope I got all these guys. I got to get going to the other games. R. Thompson, Commanders. Washington here for Tariq. Barner only used as a end zone tight end there, right? Got to get him that ball. And let's see, Robert liking Washington, Charbonnet anytime touchdown, like we've said, right? And then NYC Bar likes Washington. Billy says, "You ever been to Oakland?" I've been to Oakland. I've been to Oakland games. I was at the Brett Favre game when he had those touchdowns in the first half, the day after his dad died. That was the last. I think I went to one after that, but that one, you're never going to forget that. Okay, that's it for football. We got to go, and we got to go fast here in the other sports. Let's get it going. We got 15 minutes to cover these games. Probably just going to throw out some picks here with these games right now here with Pelicans taking on the Thunder. And do have some injuries here for sure with the Thunder here. You got Holmgren is out of this game here. A little bit bothered by an injury, maybe a little bit of rest too here as well for the 8-0 Thunder taking on the 0-5 Pelicans so far. So it hasn't been good here for the Pels. They do have a one cover so far. Oklahoma City, doesn't cover very well. We know that. They're actually 2-4 ATS as part of this 6-0 run here right now. So, maybe the Pelicans can hang in here, at least with these guys with a big spread, because the Thunder do kind of play with their food a little bit here. So give me the Pelicans in this one to hang with Holmgren out. In this one, I'll go ahead and try the Pelicans here. Line is up to 13, actually. It's up to even 13.5. So I will take them here. The total has dropped to 228.5, but I'm on the Thunder. I'll come back to your comments, actually, in the NBA if you want to run them here. Let's just make sure we get the previews in here. Hawks and Cavs, both teams come in 3-3, but the Hawks have won 2 in a row. The Cavs have lost 2 in a row. Cavs dropped games to Toronto and Boston. And also, this just in here, also Jalen Williams. He was questionable for the Thunder today. Jalen with an L, the guard. He was questionable with a wrist injury. He has just been ruled out of this game, and that's why the spread's moving to 13. I imagine we'll get a critical notice here in just a minute with the news on Williams, because I'm just seeing this right now on the stream here, and any second now we're going to get the critical notice on Jalen Williams here, and he is out in this game. All right, let me continue on though here. I got to go. Atlanta here taking on Cleveland, another battle of where the teams are not doing very well covering spreads here, but Cleveland 0-2 at home against the spread, 1-5 against the spread as a favorite so far. Atlanta, they're not very good, but they have won 3 games. They're also 3-1 straight up on the road, actually showing a little bit of life. I'm going to take the Hawks here in this one, plus the points. 76ers taking on the Nets. The Sixers are 4-1. The Nets are 0-5. Right now, no hope in sight for these Nets, although they are 2-0 against the spread at home. Philly's 2-0 against the spread on the road here. Laying these points on the road, they've been a great cover so far this season as well. 4-1 ATS so far for Philly. So, you know what? Not bad. Still got to lay some points here to a Nets team that looking for their first win, but at home they've shown a little bit of life here. Like I said, covered them both. I'm actually going to take the Nets here in this game plus the points. If they're covering at home a little bit, should be able to do it here maybe against the Sixers. Although the Sixers, what can you say? Pretty strong so far. Everyone loves them here. Yeah, they lost one, but Embiid is out of this game with rest, and Paul George, he's also out of this game. So I'm going to take the Nets here today.
Major line move.
Jazz and Hornets here are next. You got the Jazz here. Oh, did I? Yeah, Jazz and Hornets here. You got the Jazz coming in 2-3. The Hornets are 2-4 so far. The Hornets have lost 3 straight all of a sudden. They're not really looking that great. They're 1-2 against the spread at home. Utah's actually covered a game on the road. They haven't won yet on the road, but maybe this one could be just low enough here for the Hornets to get in. The move has clearly been on Utah here. They're down to 1. It opened 3.5. But Brandon Miller is out for the Hornets, but Walker Kessler is out for Utah. I'm taking the Hornets in this one at -1.5. I know we're a little bit down on the Hornets here right now, and yeah, they haven't looked that great, but hey, they are 1-0 as a favorite against the spread. They are they're still the favorite here, I guess, right now. But Utah, no doubt. There's critical notice with Jalen Williams. What took so long, guys? Anyway, for Utah here, they are 4-1 against the numbers so far. They are definitely the team to want to consider here, but not at a near pick 'em. I'm going to have to try Charlotte just one time here and take them at home. Sorry about the comments, you guys. Just got to go fast. We'll kind of come back and review those maybe a little bit, but let's just make sure we get all these games announced and take a look at the spreads here, or at least the spreads when I typed them in. Let's go to the Grizzlies and the Raptors here. Grizzlies are 3-3. Raptors are 2-4. Raptors snapped their losing streak last time out with a win over Cleveland, 112-101. Memphis is off that loss to the Lakers. Neither of these teams are looking very good spread-wise so far. They've both been kind of a disaster here, really, but still have the Raptors favored by 5.5. Ja Morant is suspended in this game, a team-issued suspension, and the Raptors have become a 5-point favorite. A lot of people say, you know what, advantage Memphis. You got Ja out of there. He has 6.5 assists. I'm not totally down on Ja, but Let's take Memphis here in this one, plus the points against Toronto without him in the lineup and see what happens. But this line is definitely down here to 5 or 4.5. Maybe it is a little bit of a move. But Memphis 0-2 against the spread at home. Toronto 0-2 against the spread on the road. So I'll take the Grizzlies here. Bulls and Knicks. The Knicks are favored by 7. They just played the other night. It was a 10-point game. Knicks have lost 3 in a row. We know the Bulls are perfect so far. 5-0 against the spread. 5-0 straight up. 5-0 against the spread here, although the Knicks are 2-0 right now at home against the spread. They're still 1-3 against the spread as a favorite. Chicago, they're probably not as good as what they've shown so far, but they're getting 7 points and playing out of their mind. They beat them 135-125, beat the Knicks back on Halloween. Let's try them again, even on the return trip here to New York, where a little bit of revenge, but Bulls are playing well. Maybe the Knicks win, maybe the Bulls cover. I'm taking the Bulls in this one. Next up, San Antonio taking on Phoenix here. San Antonio, terrific as well so far. 5-0 straight up, 5-0 against the spread here. Well, maybe a few pushes in there. One game land on 6. Maybe the spread went to 6.5. Nonetheless, they've won every game and basically close to covering the number. But Phoenix is 3-0 against the spread at home so far. And so, as poor as they've been, they're still able to keep up. They've won 2 of their 3 games at home. I know the Spurs have been absolutely terrific, been the story of the league here right now coming in, but De'Aaron Fox is out of this game with a hamstring injury, so I think I'm going to come in here and try Phoenix in this one, plus the points at least. The steam came in on Phoenix, and it's driven it down here to as low as 5.5 right now. Oops, try to have the right graphic up. Sorry about that, gang. 5.5. There it is right there. And I'll try Phoenix in this one at home anyway. Can't deny that Spurs have been absolutely terrific. All right, one more here late. It's going to be the Heat and the Lakers in this one. And, well, you got a Lakers team here favored by 5. The Heat have been pretty good against the number. I think they've been good overall. I've been on the Heat here so far this season. I'm going to continue to be on them for the most part, but can't deny the Lakers. Everybody wants to count them out, rule them out, and say that now Luka is getting overworked. Is he injured? He comes back, looks great. Lakers are 4-2 against the spread so far, but Miami is 4-0-1 against the spread. You might even have them 5-0, and often as an underdog here. So got to think the Heat come in here and keep on riding a little bit. Lakers are just 1-2 against the spread so far at home. Give me the Heat in this one. All right. Let's run down the comments here real quick. Thank you in the basketball. We got just a couple minutes. Pelicans here for Weskers. Pelicans for Bobby Mack. Thunder for Greg. Roberts on the Hawks here. NYC Bar says lay it. Roberts going to lay it with the Sixers as well. And Greg said 2-point game there. Hornets 4-9 Legacy. Hornets for Robert. Mr. Weskers likes the Jazz. There's 9 Legacy on the Raptors. And let's see. Chicago Bulls here for 9 Legacy. Bulls over for Robert. I think Mike's taking the points there in that Bulls game. Right, Sean, nice to see you in the chat there. Appreciate you holding it down with some football talking there. Lakers for LALV. And Greg there giving us a pick. He also says Heat plus the points. 9 Legacy says Spurs, take them on the spread. Thank you, Sean. Thanks for stopping in. Great watching my midday money there. As I sometimes in my nap, Sean, I got to be on. Everybody says, when does Ramon sleep? Usually about 11 a.m. your time. You know what I mean? A couple hours right in there, right when Sean, I turn on my midday money. Not saying you bore me. Just saying that's nap time and some great listening to get me going. As I told you, I'm a lurker in there. But when I heard my name called out, I had to say something. So I had to say, I'm here. I'm just laying down. This is the morning nap time right here. So you got to sleep sometime. That's when we do it. right in that little window. 9:30 to 9:30 to 11:30 is a great nap for an old bloke like me in Las Vegas. Okay, just gonna go here real quick. We got 5 minutes, and then we got the great show coming on with the guys here next. Let me make a couple hockey picks, if you'll allow me. The Lightning and the Mammoth are going to start us off here. I've got Vasilevsky. I've got Velika in net here. This is a good game, man. This is like is this the game of the day here right now with these two? It feels like it. Got Lightning here looking pretty good. Coming back here. They're on a win streak here all of a sudden. They're 5-4-2. Are they back? Are the Lightning back? Here we know the Mammoth has been hot, and yeah, they did lose last time out, snapping their winning streak. But man, at home they've been terrific so far, 3-1 so far this season. Total is up there at 6.5 here, and I don't know if we're seeing these guys totally go over here at this point. In fact, Tampa Bay, I think they're 6 unders in their last 10 games coming in here right now, and they're averaging just 2.8 goals per game. Now they are starting to step it up here a little bit, but at 6.5 in this one, I'm going to have to take the under actually with Tampa Bay and Utah here today. Let me grab the under in this one. Blue Jackets and Islanders here. Blue Jackets are the team, man. 7-4 right now. Islanders 5-5-1. Islanders an impressive 9-2 to the over so far this season. Wow. Islanders have lost 3 of 4. The Blue Jackets are the team on a roll here right now with 4 straight wins. They beat St. Louis, Toronto, Buffalo, and Pittsburgh, and looking pretty darn good here right now. But Islanders at least are at home in this game. And, it's not like they're scoring a ton of goals, and that's why they've gone over. They've given up some goals, too. That's been a little bit of the problem here. But I think getting Columbus at home. Let me try the Islanders here in this one. Give me Islanders at minus $1.25, $1.35. Says it right there on the screen. All right, here we go. A couple more. The Flames and the Flyers. Flyers going with Korchinski. Is that right? Is Korchinski in there today for the Flyers? Okay. Guess they're going here. Could be Kolosov, right? I'm not sure who's in there. One of these backs. In fact, I think Devin Cooley could be in there as well. But I'm going to say right now that my goalies are right. That makes this game a little bit tougher, I think, here with Calgary and Philadelphia today. Philadelphia still $1.35 and all coming in here. Calgary's been terrible, and we know it. 2-9-2 so far. So they might rent a goalie in here, and it might be okay right now. Calgary once again has lost 3 straight coming in, and I got to go over in this one. Calgary giving up big time goals here, kind of like the Islanders, but worse. They've 10-3 to the over, 7-1 to the over on the road. Give me the over in this one. Phillies 5-3 to the over at home. All right, Red Wings and the Sharks here. Man, the Sharks, break them up, man. They actually playing some decent hockey here with a couple of wins in a row. Detroit had their 3-game winning streak snapped last time out. Probably get some goals here. I know it's 6.5 here with Gibby going up against Nedeljkovic here, but I'm going to actually take the over in this one. Got Detroit 4-2 to the over on the road so far this season. Meanwhile, San Jose's 8-4 to the over overall this season. Give me the over. One more. Show's over. We'll try to do the drawing here real quick, then get on out of here for the guys. It's going to be great. Get ready for our NFL show, New Jersey and Anaheim in this one. And in this one, you got to give me the give me the under here with New Jersey and Anaheim today with, we get the goalies in here with Allen going up against Dostal. That's it for the morning steam. Stay tuned for the guys. The NFL preview show is next here on the Sports Money Network. Let's give away one drawing here right now and see who wins it. And then we're out of here. Stay tuned for Mikey and Sharky leading you up to the NFL kickoff here with our new NFL show on Sunday. Mr. Jerry Jones, my man. Jerry, thanks for your comments today. I know I'm giving you a hard time about the Dodgers, but I do appreciate you here. That's going to do it. And for the Sports Money Network, I'm Ramon Scott. So long.
That's gonna cover. That's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott. running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. Ramon Scott, sports money.